What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday morning so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about what the Brooklyn Nets need to do. Now, the Nets don't play another game right now until this Thursday on TNT when they're going to be taking on the conference leading Boston Celtics. And the last time the Nets played against the Celtics, they suffered one of two losses they've had in their last 20 games. The other one obviously being Chicago this past week. Now, obviously the news broke yesterday about the deal with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is going to miss at least a month with a sprained MCL in his right knee. As we all remember last year, the Brooklyn Nets were starting to roll as a basketball team, but they were dealing with Kevin Durant. Ended up getting hurt, and he ended up spraining his left knee. And he ended up missing at least about a month and a half of time. And as we all know what happened, the Nets went all the way from the top of the conference, and they started crashing all the way and they crashed all the way down to the bottom of the Eastern Conference, where they were forced to be playing in the play-in game. And then they ended up getting swept by the Boston Celtics. So it's like deja vu all over again for this Brooklyn Nets team, where they were rolling, they were sailing high, and then all of a sudden, Kevin Durant gets hurt, and now he's going to be out for a month at least. Now, I know, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, is saying that they're going to be evaluating Kevin Durant in about 2 weeks. With a sprained MCL, you normally are going to miss at least about a month. That's like, the time frame. It takes you about a couple of weeks, pretty much doing nothing, and then even if you get evaluated and you seem to be ahead of schedule, then it's going to take you at least another couple of weeks before you get back into basketball shape and you get back on the court. The positive news is at least this doesn't sound as bad of a knee injury that Kevin Durant had last year when he ended up spraining his left MCL. But either way, this is going to test the depth on this roster. Now, one thing that a lot of Nets fans have been saying is the depth on this roster has really been the reason why this basketball team has been in the position they have been, along with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And the benefit you have this year is that right now you have Kyrie Irving on this basketball court. You don't have to worry about everything that he went through last year. We already know with the whole COVID mandate and everything. Kyrie is here. So you already still have one superstar for the time being while KD is going to be out. Also, you have to think about the fact that the Nets have a lot more depth on this roster compared to where they had last year. Remember, last year, this basketball team was trotting out the likes of, LaMarcus Aldridge, Bruce Brown. This team had nobody on this team last year. They literally had nobody. Jeff Green at one point. You had they were trying to put trust in guys like Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharpe when they were rookies. You had Blake Griffin out there. This basketball team was devoid of talent. Let's just be real. This team was not as good last year compared to how they are this year. This year, this team has the type of depth where they should be able to withstand and at least stay above float without Kevin Durant. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Do I expect the Nets to possibly fall a little bit in the standings? I could see it. You still have Kyrie. Ben Simmons is better than any of the players the Nets have had last year. Nicolas Claxton is a much better version of Nicolas Claxton this season than he was last season. Last season, he was just starting to ascend. This year, he's become one of the better young centers in the NBA. Plus, this year, you have depth pieces on this team like Yuta Watanabe, TJ Warren, Edmund Sumner, Patty Mills is back. You still got Joe Harris. You have Seth Curry now for an entire year. You got Markieff Morris. You got Royce O'Neal. So you got a lot more depth on this basketball team now compared to last year. But are these depth pieces and young players going to be able to carry the load that you're going to have to do without Kevin Durant? Because now a lot of these other guys are going to have to start assuming the higher scoring leverage, because Kevin Durant, along with Kyrie Irving, were going out there and scoring 20-plus points per game. Now, without Kevin Durant on that basketball court, you're asking Royce O'Neal scoring to go up. You're asking Ben Simmons to score more. You're asking Seth Curry to score more. Joe Harris has got to be better on offense. TJ Warren has got to become a better offensive player. Yuta Watanabe. Cam Thomas's role might start expanding. Day'Ron Sharpe, same thing. Markieff Morris. You're going to have to start asking a lot of these players on this Brooklyn Nets team that really have not been have been tasked to go out there and score 20 plus points per game. But now the fact that Kevin Durant is not going to be on that court until sometime in February, you're asking these guys to have to go out there and start carrying more of the offensive load for this basketball team for pretty much the next month or so. And that's if Kevin Durant is able to be ahead of schedule in his recovery. This is not going to be easy. And the one thing you have to worry about with this Nets team is they don't fall into the same habits that happened last year. But I have a little bit more confidence in this team this year because of the fact that this team has a lot more depth on this roster. They have an ascending center who is much better now than he was last year. You have a guy in Ben Simmons who, let's just be real, is better than any of the players the Nets had in terms of role players last year. TJ Warren is a better player. Yuta Watanabe has been good. Markieff Morris, Edmund Sumner, like I mentioned. You have Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharpe in their second years compared to their rookie years last year. Plus the fact you have Kyrie Irving now. Kyrie was in and out of the lineup last year. Now you have Kyrie Irving at least. So, really, for the Nets, I know it's going to be tough without Kevin Durant. It's obviously going to be a lot more difficult right now without Kevin Durant on that basketball court. But what the Nets need to do is they need to not panic. And this is where Jacque Vaughn is really going to have to even, do a great job coaching because of the fact he does not have his superstar player on that basketball court. So this is really going to make Jacque Vaughn even that much better of a coach if he can go out there and keep this team afloat and make them not have to go out there and panic because of the fact that Kevin Durant is not there. This is really a test right now for this basketball team. But I have confidence that this team is not going to fall out of it completely like they did last year without Kevin Durant. I have a lot more confidence this basketball team will stay above float without Kevin Durant. I don't think there's going to be moments. They're not going to be. I don't think this basketball team is going to continue winning like they have, when Kyrie Irving was out. Because as good as Kyrie is, Kevin Durant is better, even by a little bit. And Kevin Durant has been playing at an MVP-like level this year. But as a Nets fan, of course you got to be a little bit worried. Because you're asking a lot from these other guys who have been fitting in so perfectly with their roles on this basketball team for these past 30-plus games. And now you're asking all these other guys to have to start to increase their role on offense to try to make up the scoring, the points that they need to do for Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant was scoring at least 25, 30 points per game. Like I mentioned, you're asking Yuta Watanabe, TJ Warren, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Joe Harris, Nick Claxton, Royce O'Neal, Cam Thomas, Day'Ron Sharpe, Markieff Morris, Patty Mills. You're asking all these guys now to have to increase their scoring load going into this stretch run. And you have to wonder if the Nets were interested in maybe making a trade. You have to think that maybe that's going to be off the table now because of the fact that they need to keep all these guys for depth purposes against this going into this stretch run. But we'll have to wait and see. I just want to make this video about this and see, hopefully this Nets team can stay above water and keep playing great basketball. And some of these guys can step up their game to the next level as their superstar is on the road to recovery after spraining his MCL this past Sunday against the Miami Heat. So if you like this video, hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already to NYG Jeffrey T85 for more breaking news, updates, and chatter surrounding the New York Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications. The next video we're shortly be dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And let me know in the comment section how you think this Nets team is going to be able to stay above water with Kevin Durant out for at least the next month with a sprained MCL. So thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy, and let's go, Brooklyn Nets. As always, it's a Nets world, and we all just live in it.